Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, I'm back for a second time today to do a masculine check-in. So let's have a look. What do the divine masculines need to know at this time regarding what they are experiencing? Strength. So stay in this empowered, noble energy, masculines, because you're really cracking the code on it, I just heard. Quick message for the feminines. What do the feminines need to know about the energy that we find ourselves into today? Page of Pentacles. Stay present, stay grounded, stay practical. Don't let your imagination take over, I just heard. Let your balance be its own sort of reward right now. Focus on that inner temperance. Okay, a card for both. What can we see for the meeting place of these two energies? The feminines being poised, the masculines being noble. We are getting the rattle. 43, which is my card of self-love. So deep internal self-love right now. Masculines, that means being in this noble energy, loving yourself, having your clear boundaries, high standards, impeccability. And feminines, this is about being receptive, open, present. Okay, rattle. This says, you want to catch God on the whisper, not the shout. What you are trying to craft to your own desires and expectations is already there, standing before you. Do not spin the world to your own benefit. You are being offered the Creator's tools, which must be put to use to serve a divine purpose. So masculines, this nobility is not to be used for egoic purposes. This is so that you can be a channel into the world, so that you're no longer concerned with the karmic struggles, the lower vibrational struggles. That's why you've come into freedom, not so that you can use it just simply for personal gain in and of itself, but so that you can continue to be abundantly blessed, so that you can continue to abundantly bless into the world. And feminines, you're also being asked to put down any kind of delusions, any kind of fear-based thinking, so that you are open, ready, willing, receptive to this higher use, your own channeling. So we're getting that message from those two angles for the collective. Okay, let's dive into a real quick divine masculine reading. Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What are the masculines conscious of? And what is the energetic combined with the practical application of what's happening for them consciously? What do the feminines need to know about the energies that we'll see? I'm actually going to do what would the feminines say to the masculines about what is going on in the energy and how that's affecting the feminines, or what the feminines are curious about. Where are the feminines at? What are the feminines interpreting at this time? How would they say it to their masculines right now? Okay, conscious mind for the connections. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles, new beginning, and we get time capsule, timed release, focused force, storage, crystal capacitor. So masculines are aware that things have never been so ripe as now in the energy, that it has all been for a purpose. There has been a higher rhyme and reason to why things are only set to come into the physical now. They're seeing their side of the energy, and where they weren't stable, where they weren't up for it before, they're starting to see now the accountability required to be entrusted with something like is coming in, this abundance coming in. They've needed to be more healed. They've needed to be more balanced. They've needed circumstances to move out in certain ways. They see how it's all been working together. Feminines, they also see for you the things that have had to balance out in your life, whereas before they may have only thought that you needed to make some changes. Now they're seeing that had they moved forward in the past based on whether you were ready or not, that they would have foregone some things that needed to happen on their side. So they're getting a nice, sober, I just heard, overview of the potentials and why it's waited till now. Feminines, what you need to know, let it sink in. It's never been a tit for tat, I just heard. It's never been about taking sides or your masculine being against you or not aligned with you. It's literally been that the process has had to pull everyone up and out of the things that needed to be changed. And so you're meant to let that sink in. What would the feminines say to the masculines about this timed release? I lie awake thinking about our future. Okay, so that's in the inverse. I think this is also a similar kind of energy to the Four of Swords, but in the reverse like this, or the inverse, the feminines are trusting the process a little bit more. They're no longer worried about what's going to happen in the future, but they're more thinking about the now. They're more feeling into the now, and that speaks of time being of the essence being now. There's not so much of a future focus. There's more going on right now, this time release, time capsule energy. What are the masculines thinking of the divine feminines? Okay, gone but not gone. They know now that they never needed to run from you, feminines. That they were running from paradigms. They were running from imbalances. They were running from fear. And it wasn't you, the person. It wasn't because of you. It was because of those other things, their emotions, because their emotions were volatile, because they lacked the maturity, the wisdom, the nobility, the impeccability to stay the course without shirking. They weren't able to do that. Angelic assistance, truth, salvation, and majesty. So the masculines are saying here it takes nothing short of a village of angels to help raise these connections. But they now know that even when they were gone, they were not gone, and that there was always signs, synchronicities, trust, a reason to believe, even when you weren't in closer connection. So they're putting down the idea that it was you altogether, and now really looking at the circumstances, the karma, the lessons. What do the feminines need to know about this? That this is divinely decreed. It's never been your masculine doing things just to be dastardly. It's been them following what they needed to do based on those motions, that the angels have not only been helping to orchestrate this in favorable ways, but also holding space and protecting. Divine protection here. It wasn't the egos in these scenarios. That's what happens in karmic scenarios. But in true connections, we are so focused on the higher guidance that it organically, miraculously works together in ways we cannot, through our ego, anticipate or call the shots on. So masculines are really understanding that it took otherworldly synchronicities to help maneuver this thing into the right directions, and feminines, you're being asked to believe that there is a more cosmic sun and moon thing playing out here, angelic level playing out behind the scenes in support of real love. And that can speak of the original templates that are ready, willing, and waiting for us to align with as our consciousness up levels. When we reach that level of consciousness where we can attune to them, they've been waiting for us all along. Union is on your highest timeline. I think we should slow down, the feminines are saying in the inverse. So masculines, the feminines are feeling like there could be more faith, jumping in, going forward. You know, a lot of chasing is fear, feminines. When we chase, when we're in that fearful of losing something, we can sometimes be in a motion of chasing. And this is saying that the feminines are more aware of that and willing to work with the appropriate regulation of energy. Instead of needing it to be a strategy, it's now more of a knowing about when to have heating and cooling, breath and pulse of these connections. Interesting. What are the masculines feeling on the heart space for the connections? Long-term abundance. This is generational wealth, legacy. Yeah, this is beautiful because the masculines are understanding home is where the heart is, I got from this, but this grounding of the long term here. They see you, feminines, as the only infallible companion on the heart, regardless of outward appearances of the connections or what the world would have said in the past could be or not be in these scenarios. The masculines know that this is the only truly grounded relationship they've ever had. Wow, form, structure, foundation, cosmology, it's being shown to them. This is part of that time capsule release on the conscious mind, that it is aligned head and heart, that you are this grounded partner, that you do represent this foundational sure footing that can be built upon here. Trust and higher orchestration, energetic match, frequency match. I'm hearing all those. What do the feminines need to know? Okay, the burden has been pre-qualifying us to be grateful for these connections coming in. You know, we've paid our karmic dues. We know what it isn't now. We know what it isn't. Now we can appreciate what it is without thinking that the knowledge of good and evil is attractive or alluring. Humanity has been prodigal, and we're coming back into understanding how good it feels to make choices that are sure-footed rather than guesswork or half-assed or part yes and part no. This is about knowing how the karmic battle ensues and not entering into that battlefield or arena anymore. Doing things right. Feminines will say to the masculines, do you even see me that way? So, yeah, feminines are really wanting to know, do you see them for the long term? Do you see that what you've been collaborating here? So masculines, your feminine isn't questioning whether they love you. They're wondering now if you feel this way about them, which is very interesting, because that means, feminines, whether you think you're coming to this question as a new kind of energy or not, it does mean by default that you're beginning to be receptive for the masculines to tell you this, because when we ask a question, we ask and it is given. So if the feminines are asking, do you even see me that way? That means, yes, the masculines do, and there's a primer, there's a priming in the energy and readying you to receive that answer. You're already coming to this question within, and the question or the answer is inherent in the question. So, do you see me this way? The answer is yes, or you wouldn't be asking that question. So coming to the awareness that it's not all about how you see your masculine, but also becoming receptive to being brave enough, being open enough to actually hear and feel and receive the masculine seeing you this way, feminines. Ooh, beautiful. What can we see on the heart space from the masculines to the feminines? Immediate multiplication, growth, and creation. This is a waiting card in the upright. In the inverse, the time is now. So the masculines know on the heart space there is this green light go, this knowledge that the only place to grow is together now. Oh, what do the feminines need to see about this? Humility, strength, receive this, receive the masculine's nobility. I'm hearing that in the past, the shoes were too big. In the past, there were other things going on. And now, in the inverse, this is the yin to the yang. This is the receiving of the strength, the nobility from the masculines. And for you to, receive rather than chase or try to get that back tracking of energy so that you become the receptive one here, feminines, is happening. And so this is the receiving of the masculines in their glory, in their potential here. What would the feminines say to the masculines? I have so much desire for you. And so masculines, they want to be ravished, I just heard. So this growth, this synergy that's ramping up in the now, in the heart space, is creating an eternal passion, I just heard. What is the manifestation the masculines are wishing for their own life? To find purpose. There's that soul spark, spiritual strength, virtue, and valor. So the masculines are truly desiring to be energetic leaders, to be trailblazers, to be way showers, to be active in community, to be inspiration for others. It's not just fame and fortune, it's actual spiritual wisdom and benefit They want to be the elders. They want to be the wise ones. They want to show the world their spiritual side. I'm hearing that when they have resisted the spirituality of the feminine, they were also resisting their own spirituality, or what others would think of them if they were with a spiritual feminine. They needed to fill those shoes and really see themselves as spiritual leaders or channels in order to partner with somebody. They didn't want to be upstaged by a feminine that was more masterfully spiritual or energetic than they were. They wanted to be an equal counterpart. So they've needed to initiate that in themselves. And they're finding that they are catching up to speed quite quickly, is what I just heard. What do the feminines need to know about this? Yeah, they've been gone but not gone. The Eight of Cups, we had that at the beginning for the masculines already. Same card here in the same position, or in the same inverse position. So this is the 10 of Cups, or sorry, the 9 of Cups. That's the wishing for it. So feminines, just know that the masculines have had to see this from near and far. They've had to see all different unconditionally loving angles of it. And so it's been perfect in its becoming. Even when they've been apart from you, it's never been fully gone. What would the feminines say to the masculines about the energies? Light. They're starting to see the light. They're seeing how it all works together. They're finding the safety in it, the long-standing ability to roll with the droughts or periods of change in the connection, growth spurts. They're starting to see how it's all working together, masculines. What are the masculines manifesting directly towards these connections? There's the Strength card for the third time. This nobility, this alignment with love. This is, I heard another reader, Steve's Love Tarot, say this is one of the roses from the Two of Cups. So they are wanting to acknowledge this one-on-one connection. And you're the one that they've been becoming noble for, feminines. Adventure, exploration, and discovery. Yes, they want to see what happens when they come forward and they team up with you. They want to see what the two of you are capable of. They want to treat it as an adventure, not as something that feels like the shoes are too big. What do the feminines need to know about this? Keep asking for higher guidance to interpret the things that any masculine comes towards you with. Whether it's your life partner or a karmic partner or whomever you're traveling with right now. Ask for interpretation energetically, and then ask for guidance. Run all of the things that you are perceiving and experiencing through your heart space, incoming and outgoing, so that you can flow with things from the proper alignment. I need more balance, the feminines are saying. And so yes, feminines know that they need to keep, here's another one that is sort of, if the feminines are asking for more balance, the answer is inherent in this question as well. If you're bringing more noble balance to them, then this implies that they get the opportunity now to see a new level of healing and balance unfold, masculines. And so this is how you gift your feminine. When you show up in your higher potential, your feminine gets to follow that lead as well. So the feminines lead in the beginning of these connections, and now we're seeing the masculine leadership stepping more consciously up to the plate, more physically into these connections. And that's affording the feminines more opportunity to balance out their emotional equilibrium. We are already finding that within ourselves. Happiness is an inside job, but now as it comes to relationship, the feminines are going to be given opportunities to not be in the insecure, karmic, insecure attachment with somebody. There's going to be much more of a balanced reciprocal flow here, because the masculines are matching this integrity and authenticity. Now the feminines get to see what that feels like to engage with in dynamics with someone who's also conscious. What are the actions the masculines are taking at this time? Internal restructuring based on this humility. So that's like the Strength card for the fourth time. Masculines are really stepping into it. Bravo, masculines. This is a total internal game changer, feminines, because the masculines are now seeing how specific ways, how the old energies were ego, and the new ways of looking at things are much more responsible, honorable, humble, divine. What do the feminines need to know about this? Justice is here. The scales have balanced. And so now the masculines and feminines are equal. And the feminines are saying, I hope you'll wait for me. So yeah, feminines, the tables have turned. The feminines are needing more balance now as the masculines are stepping forward. Any of the things that the feminines were still clinging to must be released. And masculines, the feminines are saying they hope that you wait for them now to catch their breath with this, because it's really quite awesome. What is the action the masculines are taking towards the feminines? They're looking at the inner truth, duality, contrast, trust, and balance. So this need for the feminines to balance is like a ricochet. You know when you bounce a ball and it's like boing, 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 that? I've said that before, it's funny. Anyways, this is now where the feminines ask for balance, and then the masculines say, oh, am I as balanced as I could be? And it's like this teamwork as we go into the brrr, and we balance. What do the feminines need to see about this? This is how long-term stability comes in. This is the balancing act that actually gives way for this generational level of healing. What would the feminines say? Wrongful advice in the reverse. I just heard, I'm glad I didn't listen to the naysayers, because they would have thought I was crazy for loving you. I heard loving a fool like you. But that's what the naysayers would have thought about the way that the masculines have appeared to treat the feminines in these connections. This is the feminines just acknowledging that they've stuck with this through thick and thin, and they know it, and they know that's been a blessing for them, masculines. Because there is trust and balance coming in between the two. This is a trust fall. This is a balancing act. It's a tandem scenario, situationship. What can we see for the biggest challenge for the masculines? Continuing to go through this transformation into impeccability. Wow, there's that word. In advancement, temple of elevated senses, 66, 666, sixes. That's over concern about the material realm. So the masculines are up leveling past the materialistic view of reality and these connections. And that's the challenge. Masculines continue to see them in ascended ways, in impeccable ways. This is not a mundane relationship. This is a divine blessing. This is the real deal. This is you receiving and accessing actual love. And so it's a different ball game. What can we see for the feminines needing to know? This is your King of Wands, I just heard. Like this can be playful. This doesn't have to be a negative thing. You don't have to make the attraction you've had for your masculine something harmful to you. The fact that you've had that, the fact that you are a realized spiritual being coming into mastery and you have this chemistry for someone, who is that person you have the chemistry for? Do you have that for a bunch of people, or have you just got it for this one? Let that be one of the self-fulfilling prophecies in the highest, that it's not a chance as to who turns you on to this degree, that you're feeling that way for your masculine. And as they go through this transformation, you're going to feel that more and more. And this means that they are qualifying themselves as this to you. What would the feminines say? You are so very special. The feminines are chilling out to the degree now where they're not putting you on the pedestal. They are seeing how special they are, and therefore they are believing what they feel about the scenario. They're no longer wondering what you feel about the scenario, masculines. Whoa. As their first point of consideration. They're trusting their own knowing now, even over the curiosity or fear or wonder about where you're at. What is the solution to the masculines continuing to come through this rite of passage? Oh, twin flames and spiritualization of matter and reflected light. So this is a tandem effort, and as we clear each of these, the chakra colors here go from the spiritual awakening to the adjustment of communication, to the heart opening, to the empowerment, which we're seeing here with the humility. And it's grounding into the sacred sexual we saw with the King of Wands and the passions purifying, and it's coming into the physical. So we're on that right trajectory to get to the same place at the same time on the shared timelines, and that is the redemption of the flesh, the spiritualization of matter, the reflected light being seen in both counterparts masculines. So trust the process, trust the journey, trust the becoming, trust the divine orchestration, trust the quantum, whatever you call it, for matching you up with this particular feminine, because it's doing great things. What do you need to know, feminines? Things are moving forward, and this shadow side still has a little bit of frisk and volatility. So just surf it. Let it be okay that there can be things arising that need for more balance. You might find that there are certain things that come up that are only applicable to be seen when you're at that stage of coming together. You don't conceive of certain things unless it's relevant. Again, that message of the question having the answer inherent in it. What would the feminines say to the masculines? We got two. I want you, and you already know. So the feminines already know they want you, and now they're telling you they want you, masculines. This is an eternal love. How beautiful. What is the direction in the near future? Wow, the world. We're transcending the world and the perspectives of the world. Ideals and beliefs. Chamber of illumination. We're transcending the world. With the world card here, we're going to the ascended permission to access these ascended relationships fully within the world, to bring these concepts and knowings and wisdoms into the mundane, into the flesh, into the walk as couples in the world of, or navigating the world in an adventure, but not of the world, coming in from the higher dimensional awareness and landing sure-footed in our lives on our higher terms, bringing in innovation. Whoa, what can we see, feminines? Just watch and wait. It's happening. Ooh la la, this love scares me, the feminines would say to the masculines. You're not the only one that has been intimidated by this love, masculines. A lot of times we read for the masculines out there, but your feminine has been shaking in their energetic boots too, you know, wanting this, staying the course, loving you, and not knowing how it's going to happen. It's a different sort of fear than the way the masculines feel it, but it is an awe-inspiring, attention-getting awareness that this love is so sacred to the feminines. Okay, let's see what's going to happen next for, oh, there's that King of Wands at the bottom. So the masculines are very much understanding that they're about to step into this. So the next stage right now is the full release of the things that no longer serve, to turn around and focus on this love wholeheartedly. So this is the all or nothing. This is the all coming in. Whether it is proclaimed as such or not, this is the beginning of the all. You know, even when we meet our counterparts, we could say it's the beginning of the all. But we are getting even further. There's another growth spurt that's just happened, and this is the beginning of the all in the physical, is what they're saying. So isn't that beautiful? Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.